Liverpool 3, Leicester 0, and I couldn't have predicted that scoreline before the game last night. I really couldn't have. Now, do let me know what you thought of the game in the comments below. Now, before we get into this video properly, I will turn around and say it was a good performance by Liverpool, and I'm not criticising our performance whatsoever. It was a good performance by Liverpool, really good. Big confidence builder for me in terms of the strength and depth that we actually have, the options that we have to come into this team when we are suffering from a lot of injuries. We were suffering from 7 first team players injuries before the game. Now we've got Nabi Keita, looks like he might be out. He's got a bit of a hamstring issue that he came off with that moved Milner into midfield in the second half, and Nico Williams came on. So now it looks like we've got 8 first team players out. Salah coming back in after his negative test for COVID-19, so he can come back into the team as well. But what I want to turn around, and I do mean it was a good performance by Liverpool. I'm not saying it's excellent. I'm not saying it was amazing. I'm not saying it was top like Barcelona Champions League level, second leg. I'm not saying it wasn't that level of performance, but it didn't need to be. What I will say first, quite quickly in this video, I was expecting so much more from Leicester. I'm not saying that I respected Leicester too much. They deserved the respect that they were getting because of how good they've been so far in the Premier League this season. They've been very good. They smashed Man City 5-2, maybe even just a couple of weeks ago. Might have been before, or maybe a couple of weeks before the international break, whenever it was. But they've looked genuinely very good, very dangerous, very creative, very clinical in front of goal. Jamie Vardy always looking like a danger in front of goal. But when they came to Anfield, it's like they came, and don't get me wrong, I know that Leicester have got some of their defensive issues. They're missing Pereira, Ndidi, people like that as well, Soyuncu in the defence as well. But they've been missing those guys for a little bit, and they've looked quite all right. They've looked like they've been coping with it really well. The young guys that they've been, I think, what's his name, James Justin or something like that, who's been playing on the right-hand side. Regardless of who they've had in there, they've looked good. They've looked solid, and they've still looked like an attacking threat. But it's like they came to Liverpool to be a bit more defensive, and I don't know why Leicester did that. I don't know what they were trying to achieve by being a little bit more defensive against Liverpool, because it didn't work. It works for some teams, but it's not like they fully committed to being like, say, a drop back sort of team, like having a low block or anything like that. They were sort of caught between wanting to be defensive but wanting to be attacking, but they couldn't get the perfect blend of those two things. They couldn't execute it against Liverpool, and we didn't go like 100 mile an hour top gear in this game a lot, if at all, really. I'm not saying we were in like second gear or anything like that. I'm just saying that like Liverpool didn't have to go hammer and tong in this game. We were very good. We were very good. I will say that I absolutely really enjoyed this performance, and if I was doing the reaction video straight after the game, I would have told you this was the most amazing performance that I've ever seen. But when I look at it properly, it's a good performance. Big confidence booster. Having Milner at right back, Matip, we had Fabinho in the centre back role as well, Andy Robertson being there as well, Alisson being the absolute god that he is in goal as well, who didn't really need to do a great deal. Probably could have had Adrian in there, but let's not go there. But a lot of people were pinpointing attacking points for Leicester. They need to be going down Milner's side. They need to be going down that side. He hasn't got much pace. He's not going to be defensively maybe as good as Trent or someone else or whoever. They need to go down that side. Well, they tried going down that side, and they got snuffed out quite a lot. They did get some chances, most notably the one where Vardy cut it back for Harvey Barnes, I think it was, and he blasted it wide first time shot. And it was probably their best chance in the whole game. That was probably the best chance that they had in the whole game. Once they did that chance, they didn't really get much more opportunities down that side. And then they weren't really getting much luck down Andy Robertson's side, because you don't really get many opportunities down that side normally anyway. Fabinho and Matip as a partnership looked like it looked like Van Dijk and Gomez and what I mean by that is it looked like a seasoned partnership. It really looked very, very good, and it looked confident as well. And then Alisson is confident as well. He's a fantastic goalkeeper, probably one of my favourite goalkeepers I've seen at Liverpool for a long time, since the early days of Pepe Reina. Absolutely love the guy. We go into midfield. I think I just want to double check. Curtis Jones, I felt was fantastic. SofaScore and that are giving him the lowest rating out of all the players on both teams. Curtis Jones was fantastic. So ignore, things like stats and points and all this sort of stuff. Curtis Jones was fantastic. Creative, wanted the ball, wanted to get forward, wanted to move passes forward. The pass that he played to Robertson for our second goal, for Jota's header, was absolutely brilliant. That's the type of stuff that you see Trent do, switching the play beautifully and accurately, and he was very, very good. He had a couple of shots himself where he probably could have done a little bit better, but that'll come over time. He's a young lad. He had a great impact on the game. Felt that Gini Wijnaldum had a very good game as well. Tough tackling midfielder. Doesn't get forward as much as he'd probably like for Liverpool, like he does with the Netherlands, but fantastic. Absolutely brilliant game from him. Nabi Keita, I felt, was having a good game until he got his hamstring injury. I felt that his driving runs forward and his link-up play with Mane was getting really, really good. And it's just unfortunate that he's had to come off with a hamstring injury. It's one of those things. It happens to Liverpool at the moment. We should hopefully be getting some players back, maybe even Thiago coming back pretty soon as well. So he'll hopefully be able to come in to the midfield and maybe fill that role as well. But I'm gutted for Nabi Keita because every time he has a good performance, and this was a good performance by him, regardless of goals, assists, whatever, this was a good performance by him, and I just hope it's not a serious long-term hamstring injury. We move into the front line. Diogo Jota, Firmino, Sadio Mane. Each one of these guys was absolutely brilliant, fantastic, and I'm so happy. I'm so confused as well by the likes of SofaScore, who Bobby Firmino scored a goal, and it was a very, very good goal as well. And his overall work rate throughout the whole game was very, very good. Got a lower rating than Jamie Vardy and James Maddison. These guys didn't score, didn't assist, didn't do anything against us. I don't get what these sort of stats mean in apps like this. I don't know what they're looking for. But regardless of that, I don't care because we won the game. Johnny Evans' own goal, I mean, it's one of those, he just purely went 50p head and got caught up with Sadio Mane in the box, maybe wasn't paying proper attention and just flicked his head back, probably not really knowing where he was in the box, and just absolutely fired it past Schmeichel. Fantastic goal for Johnny Evans for Liverpool. There's a sentence I never ever thought I would say from a former Man United player anyway. Diogo Jota scored our second goal, and he's quickly becoming one of my very, very favourite players. I love every single one of our players, but at the moment, Jota, probably because he's a new player, he's our new signing this season, and I absolutely just love what he's doing at the moment. The guy looks absolutely fearless. He will run at players. He's got the similar sort of work rate, if not maybe even a little bit more work rate than Firmino. And he's everywhere. He's all over the place. He's playing almost at right back at some points and into the defensive thirds and picking the ball up, passing the ball and running, making attacking runs. His work rate is exceptional, and the run that he made into the box to get on the end of Robertson's cross, which was a beautiful cross as well. The bend that he got on that was absolutely magnificent. That's just classic Robertson for us. But Jota's run into the box was a brilliant run as well, and a great header. He's banging form right now, and everything he seems to touch, everything he seems to get near is almost a goal, and that was a fantastic goal as well. And then Firmino finally scores a goal. I think it's his second goal this season for Liverpool as well, and I'm hoping it's a little bit more of a confidence booster for Firmino as well. He's gone away with Brazil. I think he's scored some goals as well on international duty. He's come back and he was hitting the post again with a header. Tries to bobble the ball back after Schmeichel gets a hand to it, and then the defender gets it off the line, and it's like a centimetre away from going over. and like seeing the goal line technology picture and stuff like that, and you're just thinking, man, it's just not happening for Firmino in front of goal. Everything else he was doing was fantastic. And then a beautiful corner from Milner plants it right there on Firmino's head, and it's just a perfect header, bottom left-hand corner. And I loved seeing all the players go around Firmino, celebrating with him, really happy for him. He looked absolutely buzzing, ecstatic, like the weight of the world had been lifted off his shoulders for Liverpool, because he's been criticised a lot for not scoring enough goals, not getting enough assists and stuff like that as well. And I've criticised him as well. I absolutely realise that. I've always said I love Bobby Firmino, but it wasn't happening for him in front of goal. Maybe this could be a turning point for him moving forward. And I think it's just going to be such a big confidence booster for him, getting that goal. And I just think that the whole team, as a whole unit, worked so well. They worked so hard, and they worked as a great system. And someone did make a good point. It was on social media saying that the system itself seems much more important than the actual players that play the system. That is, I would say that's correct to a point, because we still look at, if we have Adrian in goal instead of Alisson, there's a confidence issue there throughout the fan base and maybe also in the defence as well. But when we look at, normally our back line is Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez, Trent. And last night, it's Robertson, Fabinho, Matip, and James Milner. And then later on in the game, it's Nico Williams as well. And Milner moves into midfield to take the place of Nabi Keita, going off injured. By the way, Nico Williams looked very, very good as well when he came on. He looked great. He looked good. He looked good going forward. He looked good coming back. No problems with Nico Williams whatsoever. I thought it was a good performance by Liverpool. I think it's going to be a good confidence booster. We've got the Champions League coming up midweek on Wednesday against Atalanta. I think Atalanta are coming to Liverpool, and I don't think they had a positive result in Serie A, but I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. We've got good options. We've got really good options, and I think that we can take some confidence that now, that almost any lineup that we put out, we can have confidence in that they're going to work hard, they're going to attack, they're going to create, and they're going to do as good as they can with everybody around them. And I think that was a very good display of some strength in depth as well. Puts us tied on points with Tottenham, so we're currently second, +5 goal difference. They've got +12. They're looking really good as well. They're looking like a very, very good, a classic second season Mourinho team. They're looking really good for what he wants to set them out to do. Defensively, very good. Attackingly, very clinical. Few chances, but the chances that they get, they take. So it could be between us, Chelsea, Leicester, and Tottenham. Tottenham, for me, are going to be the team to beat this season. It's going to be very, very difficult to do so. But there's so much more of this season to go yet. There's so much more, so many permutations to happen, so many more players for us to get back from injury as well. And I'm hoping that we can get some of our players back as well to help with the squad rotation and the strength and depth. But that is it from me tonight. 3-0 victory against Leicester. I predicted a 2-1 and a very, very tight game. I couldn't ask for a better response. I just couldn't ask for a better performance from Liverpool. I really, really couldn't. So let me know what you think in the comments below about this game. How did you feel about it? Did you like what you saw? Any negatives? Because I'm struggling to pick out many negatives if there are any. Let me know what you think in the comments below as well. And ahead of Atalanta, who do we think is going to be in the starting lineup? I can't wait to get into that one anyway. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you so much once again. Have a great evening. Take care of yourself, and I'll catch you later.